Welcome to Small Steps. My name is Seth Potts and I want to show you grouping in pivot tables. We're going to be using the same data we used for the basic pivot table tutorial. It includes some sample CAD data. It includes the date of the event, the dispatch time, the shift, the CAD category, and the source of the CAD call. So we're going to start with a basic pivot table. Click anywhere in your data here and go to Insert, Pivot Table. We're going to put this in an existing worksheet, and we're going to just put it right over here, right by our table. So kind of as we discussed before, one of the most basic things we can do is have an item in the row. So in this instance, we'll do a date of the event. There's about 9 days or 10 days of data that we have here. And then we're just going to do and the values a count of it. So we had 471 total calls. Now a lot of times this is pretty standard of what you're going to be looking for, just a quick number, a quick summary. But once you get this, there's always a chance to dig down a little further and summarize a little bit more. So for this example, we're going to do the dispatch time and group that. So what we could do is we can drag that dispatch time down under the date of events in the rows, and it'll give us an additional category under. So it's got the days, and then for each day it's got a breakdown. Now this is something that will be different in older versions of Excel and newer versions. I do have Excel 2021, I believe, so it should be the same with Office 365. I'm not sure exactly when the changeover was, but if you do this and it does not come in grouped already, that's not a problem. That is just a change they made. It auto groups with the newer version. So as you see here, the dispatch time I had was hour, minute, and second. We don't really need all that breakdown anyway, so it automatically broke that down, read it, and broke it down to the hour groups, the minute groups, and the second groups. That's too much, and there's not enough data actually to have any real value in those smaller portions of this broken down. So we'll actually get it back to what it would look like in older versions anyway. If you right click anywhere in that column, see these are the main things we'll be using here is group and ungroup. So we'll go ahead and ungroup that. Now you can see this is what the data would look like in older versions. It's just basically a mirror copy of what's in that field. So this also, starting out like this, is not very useful. I don't necessarily need to see that there's a value of 1 for each of these. That's pretty obvious. So what is more common, and when you're looking at the times like this, is an hour breakdown. So you can see the number of calls per hour. So we'll go back in here and right click, and you can come down here to group, and this is the menu that pops up. Now it gives you, you can break it down several ways. It has a starting and ending point. It kind of goes ahead and reads this and gives you the earliest time and the latest time. That's not a big deal. So it starts out encompassing everything, and we're not going to change that for this example. So the normal items they'll break it down into is seconds, minutes, hours, days, months, quarters, and years. So you could break these down. If you have a field that's date and time, you can use this as well. Since this is just time, we're going to go straight to this. So you can choose multiple items. We're just going to choose hours for this. So we don't want the months, we don't want minutes or anything else. We just want that hour block. So we'll select that and click OK. You see here it's broken it down to 0 all the way to 2300, so every hour of the day hour block. So this is where you can get some more specific data in here, and it still does it by day. One more good use of grouping is if you have say a category like this that does not have a natural grouping to it, but you have broken it down however you want, and you want to create your own groups out of it, you can do that by, you can hold control down and select multiples, or click and drag. Let's say we want everything that had over 10 calls to be our top call type. You can highlight those, right click, and go to the group, and it automatically puts all those into a group, automatically names them group 1, group 2, however many groups you do. You can just go right up to the top on that and rename it whatever you want, and then you can minimize that down and go on to the next group. However many groups you want, you can do that from there. If you found this tutorial helpful and would like to see more, please click like and subscribe. The next video in the series will be over pivot table field settings and pivot table options.